How are we doing, good people? Welcome to Montez at Midday. I'm your host, Dre Montez, and we're being brought to you by a title sponsor, the Weed Squad, St. Louis. Feel free to visit those guys at 8088 Watson Road here in the St. Louis area. You can also get a complete listing of all the sponsors at www.dremontez.com. That would be greatly appreciated. Here. All right. Okay. A complete list of all the guys that have helped the show over the past few years, which I really greatly appreciate it all. It is Motivational Monday. And thank you again for the birthday wishes and celebration on Friday. Had a lot of fun. Thank you again to Friendlies in South City and Rogers Place. Thank you very much. Very much. It was pretty cool. Had a blast. Turned 51 years old, and it was not like a big occasion, nothing like that. It was a very small gathering, but I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. In years past, I tried to do something real extravagant and all that, but as you get older, you pretty much figure it all out. You figure it all out. But on this motivational Monday, I hope everyone is doing well. You know what we got to do? High fives, chest bump. Let's hug this thing out. Oh, there you go. Let's hug this thing out. Need that good hug. A lot of people are in the area, in the Missouri, Illinois area. Yesterday and last night, we had some tornadoes in the area. Hope everyone is well and fine. Check on your loved ones. Do that for me. But in other news as well, what a day for football yesterday. I mean, the teams that had their bye, I think we all really needed that bye, except a team coming off a bye and they give up 54 points, that being the New York Football Jets. Sorry to Man Cave member TJ, but hey. But it was a good day in football yesterday. On Sunday, fun day. It really was. Really enjoyed watching some of these games, but the numbers that were being put up yesterday, just the numbers yesterday, not the scoring, but just the numbers of the game football yesterday, are pretty impressive to me. And some players really stood out yesterday, coming into their own groove, understanding their role on the team and what their job is on their teams. But former Florida tight end Kyle Pitts, who is with the Atlanta Falcons now, he showed out yesterday on National Tight End Day. National Tight End Day did not let down. Derek Carr with the Las Vegas Raiders, this man is playing totally different. So it does make a difference when you have a head coach that everybody always thinks, hey, maybe he's the problem. And it seems that Derek Carr has changed things around, but he put up unbelievable numbers yesterday 31 of 34. 31 of 34. He had the highest quarterback rating in the NFL with 30 pass attempts or more. Just 31 of 34. Wow. I don't know how the 49ers lost that game last night. Because every time I looked up, the ball was on the ground and it was the Colts. So maybe there's something deeper going on here. But the weather was crazy last night. You're talking about a torrential downpour. Definitely it was. But I think the biggest news, a couple of the biggest news yesterday was probably Tom Brady getting 600 touchdowns. I never dreamed of even somebody hitting that number. I mean, and since he's joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the red zone, he is 50 touchdowns and no interceptions. That is that's some head scratch. I mean, we all play with the acronym GOAT, greatest of all time. We all try to give somebody that title, and we try to make a point, make a case, and prove it. Then you have people on the other side and say, "Well, it ain't no big deal." I am not a Brady fan, but I appreciate what this man has done for the National Football League the past 20 years. But to throw 600 touchdowns, let that sink in for a minute. I mean, him and Drew Brees have thrown some yards in football, but 600, 600. You think anybody else would get to that? Inquiring minds would like to know. Inquiring minds would definitely like to know on that one there. I mean, it's just that is that is something special right there. I mean, I bet Peyton Manning is going to make a nice comment tonight on the Monday Night Football game as Peyton and Eli are back. commentating on the game from their respective couches. I guarantee he's going to bring up something about 600 passing touchdowns. I like the way they called the fiasco when he gave the football away and they realized it. I'm glad the fan was cool. I'm glad they were at home when he threw it because he'd have been on the road someplace like New York or Philly. They'd have kept that shit. We know how those fans are. Joe Burrow, this man was making dime throws yesterday. I'm talking, okay, we know Cincinnati does not have the greatest offensive line, but it seems as though Cincinnati figured out something. I don't have much time to be in the pocket, so let's go get some receivers that can get off this line and catch the ball and stretch the field that way. And they were getting it in yesterday. Getting it in. Yes, that dude he looked like a 12-year vet yesterday. The way he was so poised and doing his checkdowns and understanding defensive coverage and recognizing when that window of opportunity was open. I mean, just phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. I did not expect that yesterday from Cincinnati, but if you follow Cincinnati, they've been getting better and better. And I think that offensive line finally understands, look, we may have 3 seconds top before they come back here and try to hurt him again and tear his ACL again. But good job by Cincinnati Bengals football team yesterday. And I don't know many Cincinnati Bengal fans at all. I don't know that many. Don't know that many at all. The Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. It's just something about that team, man. I mean, Tannehill is not your everyday, this has been some building here with the mindset, with the arm talent, with putting the right pieces together, with the running game and the receivers and adding to it to go further in the season into the postseason. But man, that team looked good yesterday. They looked really, really good yesterday. And there's no telling how good they can be if they don't get the ego mindset. If they don't get the ego mindset, I think they can go far, really, really, really far. And Kansas City football Chief fans, you knew this last year, as many of you pointed out. They didn't have an offensive line. That's why they lost. They had nobody to block. They didn't know what they were doing. It was a free fall. I get that. So the people that were out for the Super Bowl, are they now there on the offensive line for the Chiefs? Or am I missing something here? Is it the same offensive line guys that win that Super Bowl? Because it looks like there's a lot of confusion going on. And I think Tennessee did something that a lot of teams did not do last year and the year before with Patrick Mahomes, when the receivers don't let them get behind you when he gets to scrambling. Run back. And they did a great job at that yesterday, playing deep center field and understanding that Patrick Mahomes likes to throw that ball deep down the field when he's on the run, especially when he's running away from the rush. When he's running away, he's going to throw that ball downfield, and he can do it. But that was some good football yesterday. It really was. I know the game matchups yesterday were not as ideal as they were in weeks past, but this is what we deal with. This is that pivotal point of the season where teams either recognizing what we need to add to this with the trading deadline coming up next week, or we got the next, I believe. With the trading deadline coming up close, there's some decisions need to be made. What are we trying to do? Now, there are some teams that this is just no hope for. Chicago Bears fans, do you realize that you all made a mistake? You tried to second guess Nagy's decision. You tried to rush in a first year starting quarterback into the mix of the NFL. For one, he should have never said in preseason that the game is a little slower than what he thought. He should have never said that. Keep comments like that to yourself, youngster. You're just coming into the league. And I don't see any improvements. It's looking like the offensive line just saying, go get him. The Chicago Bears offensive line, the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line are going to get somebody seriously hurt. I mean, there's no blocking. There's no room for any even an imagination of trying to figure out a pass play or calling on. You can't do nothing. They have to run for their lives, and you're going to get hurt. Quarterbacks that keep running and running with a bad offensive line normally does not end well. They all have gotten hurt when they didn't have an offensive line. I don't think it's the fact that Justin Fields is just that bad right now. It's just he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows how to play football. But to understand the NFL system, there's certain pieces that have to work. You got to understand what's going on, the speed of the game, understanding your window of opportunity, reading a defense is key point. And I've heard about 15 announcers say that's one of the weakest things in his quarterback IQ, so to speak. He can't pick up a defense fast enough to make the necessary adjustments. And I can't fault blame on a first year starter, but we have fallen into this trap of wanting to see a quarterback drafted in the first round to put them immediately in the game. And I don't think that's right. Let them learn the process. But there's no reason a guy can't hold the clipboard and figure out the intangibles of the game. See the adjustments that the veteran quarterback is making that you can pick up off of. Read the substitutions. Realize your weapons that you have. Realize your talent. What can you bring to this team when you go in the game and help them win? Is it running, arm strength, arm talent? All three of those things are totally, totally different. And I think when those two quarterbacks and systems figure that out, you can probably have better football output. But right now, you're not getting it's a lot of stubbornness in football because these guys think this is my team. This is the play I'm drawing up no matter what. And then when it doesn't go that way, nobody wants to step up and accept the responsibility of understanding what just happened. And also in the game yesterday, you had Daddy, look at me. I'm with a new team now. I'm going to try to beat you with the Rams in Detroit yesterday. The way Detroit came out and attacked the Rams, he was basically giving McVay a taste of his own medicine. That's how McVay was when he first got the coaching job. He was doing little plays like that. The onside kick in the early part of the game, a fake punt, a flea flicker, trick plays. I mean, which they work sometimes. You can catch people off guards. But if you can't capitalize off of that, why did we do it? Why did we do it? But that was a good game. The Rams really came back. They focused in on the game and the task at hand and took advantage of it. But the Rams, for the past 2 years, their secondary is just, it's not there. It's like the Baltimore Ravens defense. They gave up 500 plus yards yesterday. That's not Baltimore Ravens type of style of defense. But this is that when teams we expect to be in the playoffs, this is that adjustment week for here, where they may have a loss, or they may have a close win. But it's going back to the drawing board and say, let's go back to what was working for us. Let's improve upon the loss that we had yesterday. I can tell you what all went wrong at. It's they don't have a running back for one, and that's a lot of pressure to put on Lamar Jackson. He's doing everything that he can to help his team win, and when you put that much wear and tear on the quarterback's body, now we go. But if they had a running back, Marshawn Lynch, if they had somebody that can contribute to the running offense other than Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson, maybe we could see a different outcome, a different scenario. Because all the defense is doing is focusing on Lamar. It's whatever he does, we follow him. Whether it's the eyes or the legs, we going that way. I guess we will see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But Sunday Fun Day, it was some interesting games yesterday. Really interesting play calling. The weather throughout the NFL yesterday was a little intriguing. I think there was precipitation everywhere yesterday, the majority of the games. And maybe that had an effect on the Colts and 49ers game. But I did not. I'm going to watch that game again today. Because for all intents and purposes here, I thought for sure the way the ball was being mishandled by Carson Wentz so much, for sure I thought San Fran was going to get that game. And that was a torrential downpour that they had. I mean, can we go in the locker room and wait till this slow down a little bit? And they kept bringing up the Doppler 5 in the football game last night with the split screen, giving us a weather report. Well, I thought was pretty cool. If it's your first time tuning in, thank you so much. There are several ways you can listen to the show. We're on Facebook, Dre Montez, Instagram, Who's to Blame the Podcast, Twitter at W2B, Dre Montez, and YouTube as well, Dre Montez. And we're also on TikTok, Dre Montez 63. That's where we're at right there. We're going to take a little short break here. Be right back. Mountain Man Screw. Mountain Man Screw. Great strengthen
as
your
smooth
hands,
as a river flows.
elbows, knees, and feet, and also to bring out that great resolution back to its true form in your tattoos. Mountain Man Scrub. Go to mountainmanscrub.com today and
MountainManScrub.com.
use the promo Dre Montez. Mountain Man Scrub. Get your scrub on today. All right, there we
Get your
go.
scrub on.
All right, we're back. By the way, if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you got a raise at your job and today is the first day in your new position, hey, you deserve it. You deserve it. If anything positive is going on in your life, you deserve it. If you just got married over the weekend, congratulations. If you had a kid recently, congratulations to you. Thank you very much. As again, one more time for the birthday shout outs. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But now we get into the pivotal point of the year where people attitudes and demeanor have changed when it comes to this part of the year. October, November, and December. Halloween people have changed. Thanksgiving people change. Christmas is just there are actually people that can't stand Christmas. They don't want to be around their family for Thanksgiving. They think Halloween is just horrible. And I used to think all those holidays are pretty cool. I like them all. I don't trick or treat or anything like that, but I like going to some of the Halloween parties that get real creative. A few years ago, I used to go to the costume parties at people's houses. That was a lot of fun. But times have changed. I get it. People getting older and understanding, and what we've been through almost 2 years now with the pandemic, the lockdown, the mask, the COVID, and the shots, and what not get the shot. People have, changed their feelings on certain things, and I get that. I'm not trying to knock you for not liking the holiday, but Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. It really is. And Christmas as well. I just like the weather, the food, and the sports of this time of year right there. And this is Montez at midday. I'm your host, Dre Montez. Well, the NFL did not disappoint yesterday at all. It was something to be said and talked about across the board. But I think one of the main things, though, is this dude, Tom Brady. Terrific Tom. 600 touchdowns. I mean, I never even thought about how many touchdowns Tom Brady had. That really never even crossed my mind. And I think last Thursday, I found out how close he was to it. It could possibly be broken. Well, hit the mark yesterday, and he did. And wow, I just still can't believe it. 600 touchdowns. Think about it. If you're a sports fan, think of the milestones that you have been a part of. Just watching sports and following sports, things that you have been a part of. I've actually witnessed a guy throw 600 touchdowns in the NFL, a triple crown, Major League Baseball, several perfect games. Carmelo Anthony is number 9 on the NBA scoring list. I had no idea that Carmelo Anthony was there. Wow. I mean, because he hasn't, there's been something going on. He's got a little older. Different things been going on with the team and the NBA and all that. Now, as a Laker fan and watching my Lakers and understanding what's going on, I'm still trying to figure out how is Russell Westbrook going to fit into the offense on a consistent basis. How is that going to happen? And I saw LeBron flop again last night. So it's like he's trying to be too extra sometimes. I like when he used to just go out there and ball. But now it's too much going on with the body language on Friday night when he threw his hands down and somebody hit a three. You can't do that, man. You're supposed to be the leader. All the kids look up to you. Witness, you king, you goat, you glorious kid, all your Savannah's husband. I mean, you can't have people seeing that negative side of you when your teammates don't do what they're supposed to do. There have been several times you didn't do what you're supposed to. Take a shot in the fourth, try to attack the rim, to go to the free throw line. We get it. We get it. But this team now, and what happened Friday night, I've watched Kwame Brown's video. I've listened to all of the major sports talk shows on what happened. People on social media talking about what they would do, what they wouldn't do. I tell you what, when it's money on the line, there's certain things you're gonna have to say, you're gonna have to take it back. Because That could have gotten really, really bad. You think Malice at the Palace would have been rough? Was rough. This was that didn't look good for the NBA. Didn't look good for the Lakers at all. And hopefully it squashed. But we all know how Dwight Howard is. We all know how he is. And now, can this team grow from that? Sometimes you have turmoil on the team, and some can build upon that turmoil and get some W's, win a championship, do something great. And others, it's just done. And I don't think all teammates need to get along. I don't think all teammates need to hang out. But when we're at practice and we're playing in a game, we got to be teammates. We have to be teammates, and that's like one of the biggest ordeals in the NBA to me. I want to say for the past 5 to 7 years because of social media and the Instagram. NBA players get so jelly off of each other, the animosity toward each other, the hate, the clapback, the shade. They get real subliminal with the things they're trying to say throughout social media. And I wish the NBA would get a control on that. Hey, look, I don't care. You can be who you want to be. But at some point, it's just things that's getting out of hand, man. It's just getting out the pettiness. So what you got that kind of car? Or you dating her, or you been to this party, or you hung out with this person. None of that matters if you can't put the ball through the hoop. None of it. If we're not getting dubs or trying to get a ship, none of it matters. I hope the NBA does me one thing this year: grow up. If the NBA grows up, I'll appreciate it. And I don't really like some of the things that they're doing with their pregame attire that they're showing to us. That don't look good. I don't care what you're wearing to the game. Just show me when you get in your uniform. I don't care about your clothing before the game because the clothing I'm seeing before the game is making me question a whole lot of things. What the hell is he wearing? Why would you wear that in public? What happened to the days they wore suits to work the NBA players? You know, they get suited and booted. I don't know what's going on now. Ever since the NBA has let the players be themselves, things are just going awry. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But hopefully it'll get back to normal. But yeah, Carmelo Anthony saved the day for the Lakers. He's number 9 on the NBA all-time scoring list. Number 9. Let that sink in for you. Carmelo Anthony. Wow. Mm. Well, we got baseball news here for the St. Louis Cardinals, and it seems as though we're about to hire Oliver. Oliver's a bench coach. Been with us since 2017. He's 35 years old. Back in the day, Theo Epstein was 30 years old when he became the GM in Major League Baseball. 30 years old being a GM. You got to know your shit. You got to know what is going on. So I'm wondering, is this the best we could do? Or did we just want to keep it in house? Is this the best we could do? Are we settling? Is there something further down the line? This is just an experimental, or are we gonna give him a long deal contract? Like, hey, we're gonna give you 5 years to do something. We're gonna give you till you 40 to do something with this team. Because I'm looking around at the team based on what we did in the postseason against the Dodgers and the way we lost. It's the decision making with the lineup I think was the most controversial thing. We need hitters in the lineup. So now there's rumors that we're trying to go after the shortstop with the Colorado Rockies. That may or may not happen. Will that add to more run production? Should we go out the better starting pitcher and younger starting pitcher? Do we need to utilize our form system a little bit more and bring some more guys up that can really throw the ball? Because pitching really this year has been on a whole new level. You have to know what you're doing. The pitching coach and the manager and the starting pitcher and the catcher. They all have to be in on this together. What are we doing up here? As the best pitch in baseball is the first pitch strike. And sometimes we're not having it. Is the pressure too much on because of the history of the Cardinals? Knowing what we have done with all the banners and the stadiums and all this, is this too much pressure? Or should we just be like, hey, let it happen, let it sink in? I think the team, if we focus on pitching, we have to go out there and get somebody. We're going to focus on pitching. The pitching that we have in the house is that good enough to go out here and compete? And being Cardinal baseball fans and Cardinal Nation, we start out every year slow. We don't pick it up to after the All Star break. To after the All Star break. So who else is left in this rotation that we're thinking about moving up that could come in and do some great middle relief, great starting pitcher, hold the lead, and then on the other side, we need offensive production from our infield guys, especially at second base and shortstop. We need some consistency right there. We were trying to find our way on what to do. Now, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Sosa and how that's going to transpire here in the offseason, but I'm just curious to see what other moves the Cardinals are going to make here in the offseason. But still, I'm a Cardinal fan no matter what. But Oliver, the last Oliver, I mean, who was that? Oliver who? The Cincinnati Reds had an Oliver back in the day. I think it was a pitcher. Oliver. What name I'm thinking of? Joe Oliver? No, he didn't come to me. But he's 35 years old, and he's our Cardinals manager. Welcome aboard. Well, you are already on board, but congratulations on the job. Let's concentrate on the task at hand, and we shall be fine. Don't forget, you can listen to my podcast, Who's to Blame, on Anchor, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, and Tumblr. And we post a new podcast each and every Wednesday. So you can check out my latest episode of my podcast anytime you want, or wherever you listen to your podcast at. You can do that there. This should be a pretty decent week as we're getting prepared for this Thursday night football showdown, as well as Saturday's matchup for the largest outdoor cocktail party. I know Florida and Georgia. We're having too much issues with our quarterback situation. There's no consistency. I'm hoping after the bye we just had that we worked on something. Because Georgia is tough. Georgia is very, very tough. And we got Halloween coming up. Halloween is coming up. Man, I'm wondering what the number one costume is going to be this year. What is the number one costume going to be this year? I know a couple of years ago, everybody was Harley Quinn. Everybody was her. Uh, what do I think it may be? I'm thinking maybe Halloween, Jason, Michael Myers. But that whole mask thing, I don't know how that's going to work with a lot of people at establishments having people come in their place with a mask on. I know in years past that was not one of the good things to do. But I'm wondering how that's going to work itself out in the long run. In the long run. Mm, mm, mm. But more importantly, I was satisfied with the sports weekend. I really was. And the birthday was Friday, a lot of fun, and watched football all day yesterday. And just saw some great things yesterday. But I think the learning curve of football is completely different. I mean, I really think there are probably people at home, couch potatoes, armchair quarterbacks, can really go out here and help a team with coaching, with play calling, with player management, with the draft, evaluating talent. I mean, they get paid a lot of money to evaluate talent, and these guys get in the game and in a situation, and we're questioning what is going on here. What what is going on here? Why is this person in the game? Time will tell. Time will tell. But tonight we got football. I don't know about this game because of the quarterback situation with Seattle. Ugh, it's just that quarterback position. When the quarterback goes down, the backup got to be ready. You have to be ready. The backup must always be ready. Take your ball cap off. Keep your helmet on. Be ready. Chin strap down. We ready. No matter what. I'm ready to go in the game. Ready to go in the game. But I wish they would do a better job of getting ready for situations like that. There's no way you find the night before that you're starting. You go to practice. You have a playbook. You practice on your own. You practice with the team. You've worked on things. You watch game film. And then when the game actually happens, there are things happen you should have learned from. And it's like one of the hardest things for me with not all NFL teams and players. Some go back to the drawing board and pick up what they learned, whether it was a close game or a loss or win. What can we capitalize on for the next week and keep it moving forward? Speaking of keeping it moving forward, would like to thank you for tuning to today's show, and we will see you Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time as well. Again, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Dre Montez. And don't forget to follow us on our TikTok page, Dre Montez 63. It's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your motivational Monday. And in the words of my great grandpappy, do not forget the greatest details of the day. Enjoy your day, good people. Motivational Monday